While there were many speculations why FFI didn't select certain deserving films for Oscars, in this video I would like to point out some key points on why films like RRR were ignored. RRR was the highest grossing and most loved movie of this year. It was released on Netflix, through which it gained global success such that it got so much of appreciation from many Hollywood producers and directors. Due to popular demand, New York-based film distribution company called Variance Films re-released RRR in American theaters. After such wide recognition, everyone anticipated that RRR would be selected by Film Federation of India for Oscars, including some famous directors and film producers. Even though it got support from both Indian audience and Western audience, Film Federation of India selected an unreleased Gujrati film called Chello Show for Oscars. This all happened while there were two Oscar-deserving films like RRR and Kashmir Files. Now this sounds like a propaganda to many of us, as it was too obvious for a film like RRR not to be supported, for an audience themselves are supporting for the film. Now there must be many reasons behind the decision of Film Federation of India for not selecting good films for Oscars. But let's just find out few reasons behind such decisions made by the FFI. Number 1. Criteria for Oscars. One of the main criteria for Oscars is that the duration of the film should be 40 minutes or more than that. A particular film should be made outside the USA. There shouldn't be more than 50% of non-English dialogues. Film must be played more than 7 days in the domestic theaters, and the film must not be leaked. If not the last 2 points that are mentioned in the criteria, most of the Indian movies can easily follow the criteria mentioned above for Oscars. But again the question remains the same, as why our favorite movies aren't selected for Oscars by FFI, and there are some of the issues that needs to be discussed to know if there's a propaganda or not. Number 1. Politics. Despite Film Federation of India being a government body, all its members are elite members of Bollywood, such as producers, directors and actors. These private players as a jury often show biasness while selecting films for Oscars. In the past, they were even accused of several acts where films like Ekalavya with the top Bollywood actors has been selected for Oscars by Film Federation of India. At that time, the movies Ekalavya and Dharm had a screening at Cannes Film Festival. After the selection of Ekalavya for Oscars by Film Federation of India, the director of the movie Dharm, Bhavana Talwar, filed a petition in the court where she said 11 members of Film Federation of India were biased when they selected Ekalavya for Oscars. And she also found that one of the jury members, Ranjit Bahadur, worked as a making editor of Ekalavya movie. And it has been said that Bhavana Talwar's term got rejected by FFI with only 1 vote, as Ekalavya got 6 votes and Dharm got 5 votes. The court called it prima facie bias. However, later she took the case back as the deadline for Oscars was over. Not just that, FFI jury member Indradeep Dasgupta, who worked as a music producer, said this about the film Sardar Uddham as an explanation for not choosing it for the Oscars, and this is just from one of those examples where they were rejected for the same reason. In 2005, the jury has selected a movie called Paheli, which focuses on the rural life problems of husband and wife, where female lead falls in love with a ghost played by SRK and directed by Amol Palekar, which received a huge criticism from audience and critics for choosing Paheli over 15 potential films of the time. Also, audience found Black and Veer Zara more entertaining and deserving than Paheli. In 19th May 2013, the Lunchbox film screened in the Cannes Film Critic where it got the standing ovation by the critics and a Grand Real d'Or award. It was watched by many when it was screened at the Telluride Film Festival and won an Audience Choice Award at Amsterdam Film Festival. It got good response in Toronto International Film Festival, and after watching the popularity of the Lunchbox, Sony Pictures Classics bought the US distribution rights and it started doing the Oscar campaigning for the film, and this movie was as popular as RRR among the movie directors and producers of both Hollywood and Bollywood. But it had the same fate as RRR, as the Film Federation of India selected a Gujrati film called The Good Road out of all the films like Bag Milka Bag, English Winglish, Vishwarupam, Celluloid and The Lunchbox. And the funny thing is, nobody knows the names of the jury members of FFI at that time.